Hello, this is an instructional video on how to tease hair, done in real time. I've just washed my hair. There's no product in it whatsoever. First, you want to have a comb or a hairbrush. This is a special comb. It's a teasing comb. You can get them at Sally's Beauty Supply. And you can also get them at Western Beauty Supply in the Central District of Seattle. Basically, any beauty supply is going to have a range of teasing combs. Some of them look like this. Some of them have multiple rows. There's a way you can tell it's a teasing comb. I personally prefer this one, but you can really use any kind. And in a pinch, you can just use a normal comb, or you can take a few normal combs and put them together and use them together. Now, the first thing I do is I put a base layer down of hairspray before I even try to style my hair. I start with my hair very dry, and then I put a base layer of hairspray to start making my hair kind of coarse and having more texture. For those of you that already have kinky hair or are already have curly hair or coarse hair or damaged hair, your hair is going to tease a lot better. My hair is very thick and relatively smooth and glossy, and so I need a lot of extra tangling and kinking up of the hairs for it to hold well. You don't want to be shy when you use hairspray. You want to really layer it on. So I'm going to do this until my hair is wet with hairspray. This is my favorite brand of hairspray. It's called Final Net. You can get it at Bartell Drugs. Mostly Walgreens doesn't have it. Rite Aid also has it. It's $3.49 usually for a 12-ounce bottle. This can is low, so it looks like we're done with this stage. But when you tease your hair, you want it to be very dry. You want to try to tease your hair when it's wet. So I'm going to dry this out so that then I can start styling it. Now we're not using anything that's already, your hair is going to clump together some because it's just been sprayed. We're not using any of this in our actual tease. We've got it really dry. We're going to comb it out. Okay, so it feels pretty dry. I'm going to comb it out again. Hairbrush, comb, whatever. Okay. So now we're going to tease it. Teasing your hair is tangling it to volumize it. It's also called ratting. The way I wear my hair is I don't wear it in a fanned mohawk, which is usually how people wear them now when they put them up. I wear it in a teased mohawk or a feathery mohawk. I like to style it sometimes like a cloud of smoke or like jets or feathers is how I think of the texture. It always styles differently. Depends on the humidity, the weather, the hairspray, the magic. Now, when you're teasing your hair, you want to grab sections of it. You can't, tease the entire thing of hair with just one stroke. So this is my style. I hope this is helpful to people because people often ask me how I do my hair, so I'm just going to do it. So I've grabbed a section of hair. The back of these is really useful for parting. I grab a section of hair, I hold it firmly at the top, and I start teasing it from the base down. What I'm doing here is I'm putting the comb into the hair and dragging it down. So it's like reverse combing. Usually when you comb your hair out, you grab it here and you comb it up. I'm tangling it, so I go backwards. So I'll do this in sections because my hair is starting completely flat, so I really have to work to get some mat going down at the base to hold up the canopy. What I'll do often is give the base a little spray. Looks like we're out of final mat. Just to kind of help it stay up. So I'm kind of, since I'm really starting from square one, you need some extra juice to keep you going. If I was just touching up my hair, I wouldn't necessarily need to do that. I could just give it a top coat and let the hairspray just sink in through little cracks and things in the hair. Just let it, you know, permeate like you're fumigating a room or something. So another thing that helps if you're trying to get like a big shape is to work on the inside area and then tease the outer areas like less thoroughly so that you can comb it over if you're going for kind of a geometrical shape like a bouffant. I go for a very textured look. I'm less concerned with that, but I still start in the middle because that way I'm taking the part that's easiest to access first and teasing that, and then keeping the areas that are harder to tease on the outside so that I can get in there when I need to. It'd be kind of hard to tease the inside when I already on the outside. If you tease it too hard, your hair is just going to end up clumping up. If you don't tease it enough, it's not going to stay tangled, so you just kind of experiment. So I've done kind of the inner area. How much you separate it is up to you. I've done it in like medium-sized chunks. Sometimes I do it in finer sheets. Sometimes I do it in bigger chunks. When I'm starting from the very beginning, I tend to do like medium or sometimes really small if I'm having like a bad hair day and I'm having a really hard time getting it up. I really do very, very small patches at a time. So you can see most of the top areas being done. And it's kind of, today, partially because I'm using this comb and because I just washed it, it's kind of doing a feathery, I call this the jet kind of effect. It's kind of got these contours going on that are like feathery rather than cotton candy-ish. For mohawks, I find it's really helpful if you kind of just grab this area and tease it extra, kind of keep your platform strong. So now I'm kind of up, but this isn't really stable. And I also haven't done the back, so I gotta do the back. Again, I'm separating into sections so that I can get into the root. So I'm doing it in layers, kind of like when you foil hair. Separate it. And it's important not to be shy. This is a delicate thing that we're executing. I'm growing out the back so that I can perm it into ringlets. So I'm purposely like shortening the hair in the back when I'm teasing it because I don't actually want the back part to be super big because it detracts from the volume of the top. Now, I've kind of got the base going on, but see how it's kind of separating? Even if I sprayed this now, it's not stable, it's not going to stay, it's going to fall all over the place, looking kind of silly. So what we can do now is we can take the kind of the tips and tangle them together. You don't have to do it with your head down when you're trying to get it up. I tend to do that, but you can also do it like this. Okay, so I'm pretty much up. You know, it's not super big, it's relatively stable. You can also tease with a comb, which I also like to do sometimes. It produces more of kind of a cotton candy thing. It's more useful for bouffants. You can kind of, you know, tease out some of it, reshape it. It's the same thing with the brush. You grab, but it's less less precise in your chunkage. It's useful for just kind of grabbing a big piece of hair and doing it, rather than what we were doing with the comb, where we were taking like a very particular spot and teasing it. So with the brush, we can just kind of grab chunks. And this is also part of what we're doing, where we tangled the base to give it volume. Now we're tangling the top to give it structure and have it like help it to stay together. If you're trying to do a bouffant style, after you tease it up, you're going to want to comb a thin layer of combed out hair over it after you're done, and that's how you get that smooth shape after you've created your volume. Mine is a very textured effect that I'm going for, so I don't comb it over to try to make it look smooth. So any little strands that I don't like, I'm gonna tease back some more. This is too long. I'm gonna grab this, tease these two chunks together. The beautiful thing about bouffant hair is that you can check your hair just by looking at your shadow, which I think is lovely. This is my other favorite hairspray, Aquanet Extra Super Hold Strength 3. I prefer the unscented. They recently changed the scent of unscented hairspray a few months ago for Aquanet. It doesn't actually smell the same as it did, so the ingredients must have changed a bit, but you know, this is time and time again, people have relied on this. Now you don't want to be shy. You want to spray your hair until it's wet, so you can see beads condensing, beads of hairspray condensing on hair follicles. Now, the cool thing about this is not only is it more environmentally friendly, you can reuse this and recycle it, it doesn't have, forgetting the word for it, but because it's not an aerosol, it doesn't have a propellant in it. It doesn't have an extra chemical in it just to like carry the hairspray out. It's just based in alcohol, and it doesn't have a lot of extra stuff. So Finalment's going to provide you with a less, like a low finish hold that's a little less cakey. Aquanet is a classic. All hairspray is going to leave you with some residue, and eventually it builds up and you get kind of like white powder coming out of your hair, and it leaves like tacky surfaces all over everything in your house. Like my bathroom always has. The bathroom sink gets dirty really fast because of all the hairspray that's congealing on the surface. But that's a good thing to consider. This you can spray like really, really close to your hair because it's just alcohol. It just evaporates. The closer you spray it to your hair, the more of the propellant or whatever it's called you're getting in your hair.